Why a national campaign? Because when every child is read aloud to for 15 minutes every day from birth to age 8, we will change the face of education in this nation. In 2014, the American Academy of Pediatrics looked at the decades of social and scientific research around reading aloud and its profound benefits, and for the first time recommended that parents begin reading aloud to babies from birth. That means, just like a healthy diet, daily toothbrushing, diaper changing, and a good night's sleep, reading aloud daily from birth is an essential part of a child's well-being. It is no longer just a nice thing to do. Reading aloud is an essential way to combat the urgent readiness crisis in this country. By some estimates, 1 in 3 American children are not prepared for kindergarten. 2/3 of U.S. third graders lack competent reading skills. And those not reading proficiently in third grade are 4 times more likely to drop out of school. This is a national crisis. And what we now know about early brain development tells us that reading aloud is the answer. Cutting-edge science now allows researchers like Dr. Patricia Kuhl at the University of Washington to look into the brains of children and actually see how babies learn language. And now, Dr. John Hutton has joined the Read Aloud campaign as our spokesdoctor.
We're entering an exciting new era where we know more than we ever have about how something so simple as reading aloud for 15 minutes by a loving parent to a child can change their brain for a lifetime. I'm Dr. John Hutton, a pediatrician and clinical research fellow at Cincinnati Children's Hospital Reading and Literacy Discovery Center. In the first 5 years, when brain development is proceeding at a very rapid pace, babies are born with approximately 100 billion neurons, which is about the most they'll ever have. And from there, their brains develop incredibly rapidly, doubling in size by about 1 year old, and then reaching about 85 to 90% of adult size by the time they're 4 to 5 years old. There's a very central concept in neuroscience that is often said that neurons that fire together, wire together. A lot of the research we're doing at Cincinnati Children's looking at how children's brains function when they're hearing stories and how early reading environment influences how their brains function to understand first what they're hearing through stories and then later in reading. What it shows is that those early experiences that result in stronger activation during our research leads to stronger connections being forged between these different brain areas that will then form essentially the electrical system for the child in their brain to help support them when they are then learning to read and advancing through school.
But too many parents are not making reading aloud part of their daily routine. Just 46% of parents say their child is read books aloud every day at home. And only 34% say their child is read books at home for 15 minutes or more.
Many parents who are not reading enough to their children. According to the group Read Aloud 15 Minutes, fewer than half of all parents read out loud to their children each day, and only 34% do that for at least 15 minutes a day. 71% say they sometimes read books to their children at bedtime, but only 10% read books out loud at other key opportunities, including bath time, and even meals.
Our recent YouGov survey also found that only 15% of parents begin reading aloud starting at birth. So, based on our survey, of the nearly 4 million babies born in the U.S. each year, approximately 3.4 million will not receive the early brain development benefits of reading aloud daily for 15 minutes. 3.4 million babies each year are missing a learning advantage that could help them prepare for their journey from home to school to career. And according to our survey, 40% of new parents say they have never received advice to start reading aloud at birth. So we really need your help to spread the word. In 2013, Read Aloud 15 Minutes launched its 10-year national campaign to reach 215 million Americans with its message, and to create a cultural shift that makes daily reading aloud for 15 minutes from birth the U.S. caregiving standard. And we are making progress. In 2015, our messages were viewed more than 100 million times. We now have more than 10,000 grassroots partners across all 50 states, including community groups, daycare providers, schools, businesses, libraries, healthcare providers, and faith-based organizations that have joined our 20 national leadership partners in sharing our urgent message. But to succeed by 2023, we need more partners like you, pushing out our messages in their communities to parents and future parents. The marketer's rule of 7 says that people need to see a message 7 times before they'll take action. So we need your help to get us to lucky number 7, 250 million times. Our partners are the conduits and amplifiers of our messages. We have 3 campaign pulses each year, in March, July, and October, when we ask our partners to step up their efforts and reach as many of their stakeholders as they can. Through social media, e-newsletters, billboards, kiosks, posters, parent handouts, and through local events. We provide original, creative, innovative, and well-researched messaging for each pulse, in English and Spanish, and our partners take it and decide how to make it work in their community. So how do you become a campaign partner? I'm glad you asked. It's easy and it's free. Just go to our website and look under the Get Involved tab, where you'll find a Become a Partner sign-up link. Once you sign up, you'll receive a welcome email and a link to our Partner Toolkit, where we archive and share all of our campaign materials. You will then be looped into our campaign efforts throughout the year and beyond. Babies are born ready to learn from loving and caring adults from day one. Help us make sure every parent is aware of how reading aloud can give their child a learning advantage that will last a lifetime. At Read Aloud 15 Minutes, we have come up with a lot of ways to convey a single, simple message. Read aloud 15 minutes. Every child, every parent, every day. Please join our campaign today.